Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to get the most out of your Cognita Review Hub mock exam. Not just by taking the test, but by using your results to figure out what to study next, where you need the most improvement, and when you're ready to take another mock exam. Because the goal isn't simply to know your score, the goal is to use that score to improve your next one. So let's get started. First, head over to our Facebook page, Cognita Review Hub. Scroll down and look for the post with mock test on the graphic. That should be the latest mock exam we've posted. Expand the caption and make sure you read the schedule carefully. Typically, each testing cycle runs for 170 minutes. You'll want to be online when the form opens and make sure you finish before that cycle closes. There's also a 10-minute break between cycles, and during that period, the form won't be accessible. So check the schedule first para hindi ka maabutan ng closing time. Next, open the attached graphic. Save the image to your phone, then scan the QR code. If your phone already has a built-in QR scanner, you can use that. If not, you can install a free QR scanner or simply search for a free online QR code scanner. Upload the image and get the link from there. Once you have the link, open it in your browser. And when you take the mock exam, take it seriously. Give it your best shot and try to put yourself under the same kind of pressure you would experience during the actual exam. Observe the time limit. Avoid unnecessary distractions, and as much as possible, don't look things up while answering. Basically, pretend this is the real thing. The more realistic your attempt is, the more useful the data we can get from your performance. After you finish the mock exam, head back to the Cognita Review Hub page. Now look for analytics post, the one with a lot of comments. At the time of this recording, it already has hundreds of responses, so that should make it fairly easy to find. Type your comment using the format indicated in the caption. Basically, it goes DOST analytics, your municipality or city, your province, and your region. Once you've done that, check your inbox. You should receive access instructions containing both a link and a QR code for the results page. The easiest option is simply to tap the link. That will take you to the analytics page. Once you're there, enter your email address. Make sure this is the same email address you used when you answered the mock exam. Otherwise, the system won't be able to retrieve your result. And if you've already unlocked the full analytics before, make sure you're also using the same email associated with that access. Then enter your surname. Give the page a moment to load and it should retrieve your performance data. One of the first things you may want to check is our proprietary assessment model called the CQM, or Cognitive Qualification Metric. The CQM combines different pieces of information from your performance to give you an estimate of where you currently stand relative to the level of performance you're trying to reach. Ideally, you want your CQM to move past 100. If you're still below 100, don't treat that as the end result. Think of it as a signal that there are still areas you need to work on. Your job now is to identify those areas, review them, practice them, and gradually push that number higher. And remember, the CQM is a diagnostic estimate. It's there to guide your preparation. It isn't a guarantee of passing or failing the actual examination. Now scroll down and you'll see much more detailed information about your performance. You'll find your weakest areas followed by your recommended review priorities. You'll also see your strengths and weaknesses broken down numerically by subject or area. Then you have accuracy by difficulty. This tells you how well you performed on the easier questions, the average or moderate questions, and the more difficult ones. That's particularly useful because sometimes your overall score doesn't tell the whole story. For example, you might be doing very well on easy questions but losing most of your points once the difficulty increases, or you might discover that one particular subject is pulling down an otherwise strong performance. Further down, you'll also find your mistake bank. These are the items you answered incorrectly, so if you want to go back and examine exactly where you made mistakes, this is where you can find them. You'll also see some brief instructions on how to interpret and use the analytics page. But there's one feature in particular that we want you to pay attention to. If we go back up, just below your performance summary, you'll find a button that says Open Guided Study Plan. We'll come back to that in a moment. For now, scroll down again. You'll also find the full mock versus focused mock section. Here, you'll eventually be able to compare your performance in the complete mock examination against your results in the individual focused mock exams, subject by subject. So for example, you may see how you performed in mathematics during the full mock and compare that with your performance in the focused mathematics mock. Same thing for science and the other areas. Ideally, you'll use your analytics results first to determine what you need to review. Then once you've worked on these weaknesses, gradually start taking the focused mock tests. Each card has an open mock button that takes you directly to the corresponding assessment, such as the focused math mock or focused science mock. This gives you a way to check whether the study you've done is actually translating into better performance. Now let's go back up. Click Open Guided Study Plan. This will take you to a separate page designed specifically to help organize your review. Right after your performance summary, one of the first sections you'll see is, when should I take another mock? This section helps you decide whether it might already be time to test yourself again. The readiness percentage is based largely on how many of your priority review targets you've already worked through. So instead of repeatedly taking mock exams without actually addressing your weaknesses, you have a clearer idea of how much review is still left. You'll also see how many critical areas remain before you reach your review target. Now, there's no rigid algorithm forcing you to follow this. The system doesn't automatically decide that you've mastered a topic. You mark each priority area as finished yourself. So ultimately, the decision is still yours. Technically, you can take another mock exam whenever you want, but our recommendation is simple. Trust the process. If the analytics tells you that there are critical areas you need to review, work through them honestly first. Study them properly. Practice. Take notes if that works for you. Use active recall. Solve practice questions. Use spaced repetition. You can even use something like the Pomodoro technique if it helps you stay focused and manage your study time. Then, once you feel that you've actually addressed those weaknesses, move on to the next test. Hindi kailangan madaliin. Different students improve at different speeds. Some people may finish several priority areas in one sitting. Others may need a few days to fully understand the same topics, and that's okay. What matters is that you're making progress based on your own data instead of reviewing randomly and hoping that you happen to study the right things. Inside the lesson areas, we've also pre-selected videos, lessons, and other resources from different online sources to make that process easier. We deliberately look for resources that explain the topic clearly and efficiently. They're not always the flashiest or the most entertaining videos online. What matters more is whether they get to the point, explain the concept properly, and actually help you learn it. Use those materials as your starting point, but you're not limited to them. If another teacher, video, book, reviewer, or study method works better for you, use it. The important thing is that you address the weaknesses identified by your analytics, and that's really how the whole system is designed to work. You take the full mock exam to find out where you currently stand. You check your analytics to identify what's helping you and what's holding you back. You use the guided study plan to work through your priority areas. Then you use the focused mock exams to see whether those specific areas are actually improving. And when you're ready, you take another full assessment and compare the results. Mock, analyze, review, practice, retest, improve. That's the cycle. You don't treat a low score as something you simply look at once and forget. Use it. Every result gives you information. Every mistake tells you what needs attention. And every new attempt gives you another opportunity to measure whether your preparation is actually working. Take your time, study honestly, and keep working through the areas that matter most. Your goal isn't just to take more mock exams. Your goal is to become better prepared every time you take one. Good luck with your review, and we'll see you on your next mock.